So how to cook the perfect steak? It's a question that I get asked all the time, and I'm going to show you my way how I think the perfect steak should be. And it starts with getting the right cut. Now I'm using the ribeye, or as we call it here in Australia and New Zealand, the Scotch fillet, and it's from that rib area, so it's flavorful and tender, and it's lightly worked, being that rib area in the rib cage. And this marbling makes it perfect for cooking the best steak because it can take a lot of heat and it can take it nice and fast, which is exactly how we want to cook our steak. So first of all, what we're going to do is just oil our steak. I don't oil the pan, I always put the oil onto the steak and I just rub it into the steak like that. And then I season really, really well with lots of cracked pepper, little or as much pepper as you want, but I use nice lots of salt because that's how you're going to get that nice crust on the outside. And just pat it down lightly and then turn it over, and all those bits of salt and pepper that are on the plate, you just want to soak them up and then do exactly the same to this side here. So that's all the prep that we have to do with our steak. We're now ready to cook it. So the next couple of steps to the perfect steak, one is to have your pan smoking hot. I've got nothing in here and you can see the pan just smoking away. And that's how you want it, because as soon as you put the steak in, a lot of that heat in the pan is gone. It just, like that in a blink, it's gone. The second thing is your steak must be at room temperature. So before you do the last part, make sure you have your steak out about 20 to 30 minutes before you actually start seasoning it and cooking it, because it's going to cook evenly. So we're going to get our steak and put it straight down in the pan. And that's the sound you want to hear, that nice sizzling sound. Now I haven't oiled the pan because I've got oil on the steak, but I will be popping a little bit of oil in there in a short time when we flavour it up with some butter as well. But a good way to how you want your steak cooked is right in the palm of your hand. Now if you take your hand like that, right there is rare, right there is medium rare, right there is medium, and right there is well done. So depending on how you like your steak, I like mine medium rare, but depending on how you like yours, that's how you cook it. Just by touching it and feeling it, you'll get the same feeling in the palm of your hand. It's been about a minute, so we're going to turn our steak over, and you can see there those beautiful marks. That's exactly how I want my steak. Now I turn it every minute, so it cooks evenly on both sides. Now I want to start rendering some of that fat that's down the side. So all we have to do is pick up the steak, put it down straight on the pan like that, and we just want to caramelise and render that fat down. Now I'm going to add a little bit more olive oil to the pan, and I'm also going to add in a knob of butter as well. And then on top of the butter, I've got some fresh thyme. Just throw it in there. Just push the steak over, get that thyme, get all the fragrances released, and then just dip the pan and start tossing all that butter and juice straight over the top of the steak, and all those flavours will infuse on top of the steak. And do the same on this side with the steak as well. So I'm now going to take it out of the pan and leave it to rest. Now that to me is how you cook the perfect steak. But what I like to do is just take it up a notch, and this is optional. If you wanted to stop there, you've got the most amazing steak after you've let it rest for about 4 to 5 minutes. But what I like to do now is paint one side with Dijon mustard, just all over the top. And then what I'm going to do, I've got some fresh chopped up chives, and I'm just going to place our steak, the mustard side down, and just press into those chives. And when we lift up, we will have all those chives stuck to the steak, and it is just glorious. And all we have to do is just cut our steaks, and oh, it just smells so good. So slice it up just like that, and look how beautiful and medium rare and all that pink in there. It just looks glorious. And I'm just going to sprinkle over just some baby parsley just over the top, just to finish it off. And that is how I make my perfect steak. And I'm telling you, that meat is so flavorful and tender. Look at that, my knife just runs straight through it. It is like cutting butter. It is truly amazing. Packed full of flavour, and those chives and that mustard is truly incredible. Now you know how to make the perfect steak. I suggest you go out and make it.